What's going on, everybody? Cartier Silver coming at you. Specifically, coming at Miss Ellie Ellie. Now, I promised you I was going to make this little video for you because you seem to be, one of the few people out there who actually care about, the old Roman coins and the old Greek coins and, all the different stuff that I have. So I wanted to come up here and show it to you and let you check stuff out. So let's start with our first one. Get this here. This is one of the Roman coins I have. This is Marcus Aurelius. Just about all of these coins that I have down here, they're all date probably between I think this one is about 150 or 200 AD. This is the late period. So they all basically run between like 3 and 400 BC, within that area. But that one's Marcus Aurelius. This one's obviously copper. You can tell by the green that's on there. And these aren't bad to pick up. I mean, some of them can get really, really expensive, but I mean, I try to swim in the shallow end of the pond when it comes to stuff like this because I don't know too much about it, but it's cool to have this little piece of history in your hand. And then I got another Marcus Aurelius. These are pretty cool. These are all either copper or brass. Most of these, well, all of this stuff here that I have, I picked up from Harlan J. Burke, Chicago. Aaron Burke himself, who was the son of his, the owner. He's on YouTube, so you can find him on there. It's fun to watch that. This is Marcus Aurelius' wife, Faustina. This is another one that's, either copper or brass or bronze. You can see a little bit right here. So it looks like that one's copper underneath there. Looks like it got scratched. But I love these old coins. I mean, you can see the way that it was stamped. You see how the wreath or the outline of the stamp was there, and on this side it's missing because it was probably a little bit offset, when they put the thing down and they slammed it. That's what's neat about these old coins. And I got another one of his wife. This one is silver. That's Faustina again. Well, these are pretty cool. You can see same thing with the stamp. How it's over here. You see the edges where it split from where it was stamped. And down here you don't have any of the edge at all. This one is still another Roman coin. This is Constantine. He was the first saint first person that was made a saint in the Roman Catholic Church. So Constantine is kind of like a pretty big. This is a cheapie. I got this at LCS. It was in a slab, and you don't put, these kind of coins in a slab. You don't do it. I've watched Aaron Burke himself, smash slabs with a hammer to pull these out. Nobody puts a slab on, one of these coins. You don't do it. This is one of the first ones I got. This is a nice, this is Greek. This is from Thessaly. This one was actually from Thessaly Cranon. This one dates back to 300 to 350 BC. And the cool thing about all the Thessaly coins, which I got a few more of them down here too, they all have horses on them. Thessaly Cranon was a horse breeder. You know, that's what they did in that town to survive. You know, they would sell they would breed horses and sell them, probably a lot to the Roman army. But a lot of the Thessaly coins that you'll see, they all have the little horse on it. Here's a couple more. These ones here are a little bit older. This one here dates back to between 400 and 344. These ones are small. I'm actually thinking about getting another ring like this one, because this is the big Thessaly coin. That's originally what I had planned. You know, when I bought this with an open bezel, but it was too big and there was no way I was going to cut the coin. But this one here would fit perfect in there. It fits perfect. So I'm thinking about getting another one of these rings so I can put one of these inside of it. But I got the little horse. Try to get my fat fingers out the way. This one's, it's small. But these are all really cool. There's another horse in the back. And this other one is, you know, same thing. Another Thessaly. That one, same date, same time period. Let's get the rider and the horse. Looks like it's got another horse in the back. I think it's the same exact one as this one has. Yeah. See, these two both have identical backs. Or at least the same horse, the same image. The fronts are a little different. Actually, one's facing left, one's facing right. That's pretty cool. But that does it for the Roman and Greek coins. And I know that you're kind of into, you know, the Egyptian stuff and the other stuff that I have. This is my scarab. The scarab dates back to about 525 BC and 332 BC. This is from the late period. This would be found, you see it's got a hole in it right there. You see right through it. This would have been found, you know, on a mummy. It would have been put inside the wrappings. You know, usually laid on top of the chest. There'd be, you know, like several of these. The scarab was actually, it was actually nothing but a dung beetle. But the scarab itself, it was believed to help transport the soul after death. And I got one of these that I wear. Let me see if I can pop this off real quick. There, that's the one I wear. These things are tough to, they're tough to pour. Well, it's easy to pour them, but it's a lot of cleanup. Oh my gosh, it's a lot of cleanup. So I think I've only made 3 of these that are out there. They're usually pretty tough to do. Takes a lot of time, and nobody wants to pay for the time that it takes to do these. And everybody wants everything cheap. But a lot of people don't realize how much time it actually takes to get something like that looking nice. This is a Coptic eye pin. This goes back to the late period as well. This is something that they would have used to put the eye makeup on. You know how the Egyptians have the black around the eye? Well, that's what this would have been used for. I want to cast it, but it seems very porous. And I'm afraid of what the Petrobond, I'm afraid I'm never going to get it out of there. So I don't know if I'm ever going to pour this or not, but it's pretty damn cool to have something this old. And the other Egyptian artifact I have is the Eye of Horus. This one has a hole that goes right through it. This is something else that would have been worn as an amulet. No, not necessarily as much for funerals or anything like that. But, you know, this would be, you know, a common gift between people. You know, the Eye of Horus is for the moon. It's for peace. You got the left eye, and the right eye is the Eye of Ra. That's the sun god. That's a little bit more of a battle, but this is more of a symbol of peace and love and, you know, happiness and protection. So these would have been given to people. You know, I casted this one time. You can see this is really porous as well. You know, so it's very fragile. You know, I'm afraid of, you know, when I'm pounding the sand trying to compact it, I was scared to death that this thing was going to break in half, but it didn't. So I got away with it one time. I'm not going to try it again. I have the original that I made, and I use that to make any further ones. And the last thing I got for you is a knuckle bone. This would be a Roman knuckle bone. These were actually like the first form of dice. You know, when they talk about, you know, how the Romans cast lots for Judas's clothes, this is something pretty much what they would have used. You know, they would have several of them, they'd roll them, and depending on how it landed, you know, I'm not exactly sure, you know, which way it goes, but depending on how it landed, you know, it would have certain meaning, or like, just like our dice do. You know, you have numbers on dice, so however this landed meant something. So that's what they used to do with the knuckle bones. This one, I missed out on the auction for the real one. This one is actually made of bronze. The real knuckle bone, I think it sold for like about $400. These were made from out of goat knuckles. You know, I lost a bid on the real one, but I won the bid on the fake one. Well, not fake, but the bronze one. The other one was real bone. This one, they cast it way back then. And what else? Oh, I do have one more thing. You probably think this is pretty cool. Let me jump you back here a little bit. This is a Roman vessel. This is about 1900 years old. So it dates back to AD. So what I did with this is I put my parents' ashes in here. You can see them rolling around in here a little bit. Because my sister had sent me a package and it had my mom and my dad, their ashes in there. You can see a little bit of silver, or like a mirror inlay on the inside of the glass. Some of it is still there. A lot of it's worn off. But I decided it would be pretty cool to put my parents' ashes in here. And then I sealed the top with wax, so I don't have to worry about that. I mean, this is something I'm never going to get rid of, so I'm not worried about the wax, you know, affecting its value or nothing like that. So. And that's pretty much everything I have as far as all my old Roman and Greek stuff and my Egyptian stuff. I thought that was all pretty cool, you know. And Ellie, I appreciate your, showing an interest. Most people don't really care too much about the old Roman coins or nothing like that. I mean, you're really missing out on something. I mean, because this is where everything starts. I mean, this is where everything was originally casted. It was slammed with a hammer and a mallet. That's a lot of history. And to have something like this in your hands, I mean, that's over freaking 500 years old. I mean, dates back to like 500 BC. I mean, this is some pretty incredible stuff. I love it. But this is all stuff that'll be in my deep stack. I took some of the Roman coins. This is like a little pet project of mine I'm working on. This is my lamp I keep talking about. I'm going to keep adding kilos to the top of this. But I poured those Roman coins out of brass. You can see Faustina there and 2 Mark Anthony's. This is the back half of the first one. It all came out pretty cool. Not bad for a brass pour. But that's pretty much it. Alrighty. I won't keep everybody or keep you anymore. Y'all have a great afternoon, and I shall see you the next time around. Y'all keep on keeping on. Take care, Ellie. Hope you liked the video. See ya.